Welcome back to the hello everyone. Welcome back to the Crowd Chatter podcast. Today we're going to have our locks video. You guys saw the first you saw my video last week on January 31st. These are my locks for the tournament. Yes, you do not see my face on this. Sorry, I apologize about that. There's not really much I can do about that. Um, so this is our top 25, or not top 25. This was a top 25 last week because I just put that in apparently. But this is what I have for my locks for the tournament at this point in time. Um, so this is going to be the second week. I'm going to really just go through the different conferences and say who I think is still a lock. If I'm going to change it, I'll just simply take them out, and then you'll see in another video where I add them in or something like that. I'll just change it week to week by week. So for the ACC, the only one we have at this point right now is Duke, and that's going to remain the same. Just beat North Carolina by a half a mile, and I literally mean by a half a mile. It was not close. Very shockingly, it was not close in Chapel Hill. So big time win for the Duke Blue Devils, who remain in the top spot in the conference after knocking off the North Carolina Tar Heels. And as for the rest of that conference, there is nobody I would put as a lock still. Duke remains it. There is nobody else from within the ACC that I would say, yep, that team is a lock. There really is not. So that will remain as is. Next, I go to the Big 12, where we have Baylor, Kansas, Texas Tech, Texas, and Iowa State. Baylor, Kansas, Texas Tech, and Texas. I'm all those teams I'm going to leave as locks. I'll just switch that around because really they are doing a little better than them. But anyways, let's leave them too. But really the only team that's a question mark is really Iowa State. I could downgrade them to the should be in category, mostly because their conference record is 3-7. That alone is really not good. Now they did lose two straight games to two ranked teams, but they have really just not played well as of late. I mean, they have lost. They've won three of their last, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They've won three of their last 9 games. So they have just really, really struggled. They do have that win over Texas Tech, which is big for them, and a win over Texas. Um, but other than that, they have a win over Iowa as well, and Creighton, which are nice, Memphis and Xavier. So they do have some solid wins. But with their with them continuing to just lose game after game after game, I cannot leave that team as a lock. I'm going to put them in probably the should be in. They'll probably be in the should be in category. But as a lock, I don't know about that. They've lost so many games at this point within the conference. They have to start winning some more if they want to keep their tournament position. Within the Big East, we have Providence, Marquette, UConn, Villanova, and Xavier, all as locks, and all will remain here. UConn and Xavier, they've lost a couple games lately. I still think their resumes, especially UConn's with a win over literally the best team in the country, I think that still keep UConn afloat in this lock category. Xavier, they have enough good wins that they will remain here as well. Marquette just had a win over Villanova. Providence continues to just reign in the Big East for whatever reason. They've really just been incredible. But this Big East category, I will leave as is. The Big Ten, really, and also from the Big East, I'm not going to be adding anybody either. I will just be leaving the Big East as is. No changes to the Big East for locks or teams I don't think are a lock. Now you go to the Big Ten. We have Purdue, Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Ohio State, all of which will be remaining within the lock category. And really, once again, there's no one I'm going to be putting back in. I'm just leaving this as is. All these teams have really done a fantastic job. They've really all played very well. So I really just think these teams have all been just absolutely fantastic. Illinois actually remains the leader of the Big Ten, with Purdue sitting behind both Wisconsin and Illinois, which this is crazy. But this is the Big Ten for you. Number 3 team in the country is not even the leader of their own conference. Yeah, I know. It's very interesting. Anyways, this is a really good group of 5 here from the Big Ten. They've all played pretty well. Michigan State has probably been the worst out of the bunch as of lately. Wisconsin has been all over the place. Ohio State's had some solid games as of late. So I leave all these teams in this category. Pac-12, we have same 3 teams as before, and it will not change. We have Arizona, UCLA, and USC. All are still locks in the Pac-12. All have been playing very well. I leave these 3 teams in this category. The SEC, we have Auburn, we have Kentucky, both of those. Oh, and for the Pac-12, I am not adding anybody. I'm not adding anybody for the Big Ten. The SEC, I'm going to be pretty much leaving the same. The only change I'm actually probably going to make is LSU. LSU, they kind of like Iowa State. They had a hot start to the season. Both these teams really were undefeated to start off the season. Were very good, and as of lately, they have both mightily struggled. They have continued to lose game after game after game, and both are well below 500 within their own conference. LSU having quite a few not so good games, losing to Vanderbilt, which is not a terrible team, but they're still not good. And I believe they've also lost to they lost to somebody else as well. No, not Kansas State. Why did it do that? But anyways, LSU, they have not played very admirably. Ole Miss. They lost to Ole Miss as well. So LSU, they continue to lose games within their conference, and you at least got to be around 500 in your own conference to be a lock, honestly. And I don't see how they would be still a lock at this point. However, Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee, those are all still locks from the SEC. Arkansas, I would consider possibly to put into this category. They are 7-3 in the conference, but they do have some losses of which I am not very enthusiastic about. They've won a bunch of games in a row here. They've really been impressive. They lost to Vanderbilt though, so I'm going to leave Arkansas as a should be in, but they are working their way to a lock at this point. They have been playing a lot better, so I'd keep an eye on the Razorbacks here. And as for the other category, Gonzaga, Houston, obviously will both remain as locks. And other than that, I'm not really going to change much else. There's no one I'm going to be putting in. I'm going to leave it really as is. So that's it for the locks. Pretty simplistic, not really much to change. As you guys know, these videos will go a lot faster since I don't have to really explain for every single team why I'm leaving them in, because you saw my last video and why I put every single team in. So this is really it. These are the locks that I'd say these teams are 100% in if the tournament were to happen today. Now, as for the seeds, I'm not going to tell you what seeds they're going to be. I mean, obviously, Auburn, Gonzaga will probably both be 1 seeds, and Kentucky would probably be in the mix for that as well as Arizona and Purdue, and maybe even Illinois, and Providence and anybody could be the 1 seed. I'd say probably Purdue. These 4 right here are probably your 1 seeds, and that'd be like a 2. UCLA is probably a 2. That's a 2. That might even be a 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that's it. That's all I have for this segment of Bubble Watch this week. So I shall see you in the next video, which will be our should be in category, which will probably have a lot of changes to it. So until next time, adios, everyone.